another absolutely gorgeous day. It's so lovely to be out. Yeah, so I'm heading back. I'm heading west on this canal, which is the Trent and Mersey, and the country's gently rising, which means that I'm going to have to go uphill somehow. And how you do that on a boat is you go through locks. So, and a friend of mine in New Zealand asked me how locks work, so I'll talk you through it. Apparently, Harry Potter's got a boat as well. Surprised he didn't call it Abracadabra or Hedwig or something. Gorgeous boat though. So, arrived at the lock. I've moored at the lock landing and I'm going to be locking up, which makes a change from being locked down. My first job is to see whether the lock's full or empty. If it's full, I'll have to empty it. Yep, it was full, so I'll have to empty it before I can open the gates. So, I've emptied the lock, opened the gates, and now I'm on the boat, driving the boat into the lock. Can be a bit tricky with a 19-metre boat to get it into a small gap like that without scraping it up, but you'll learn eventually. It's not a whole lot of room. In she goes. This lock was built in 1790s. Step down on the roof, up the ladder, and close the back gates. Because the bridge is so close to the gates, these balance beams are really short. They've got weights on them, but they're still much stiffer than normal. It's pretty tricky doing this with one hand and the camera in the other. There you go, done. This isn't a deep lock. It's only got a rise of about 2 meters, I'd say. Unlike some. It's also a single lock, it's not a double width. So I'm opening the ground paddle now. Struggling with one hand. And that lets the water in underneath the boat. You got to watch it, some locks are really savage. This one's benign, I've been through it a couple of times, so I know this one. So I can just crank it open and it doesn't throw the boat to the back. For a racket. And that's the gate paddle. And up she comes. That cottage is the lock keeper's cottage. It used to be staff looking after the lock in the days when the canals were commercial enterprises. All this lock and paddle gear was built in the 1790s. I'm closing the gate paddle now. Closing the ground paddle. Oops. Wasn't supposed to do that. As I said, tricky with one hand. Now, because I've been touching the locks, I've got to wash my hands with alcohol. I've been touching the paddle gear, and I don't know whether someone else has come through, so just to be safe. I can open the gate just by leaning against it now. I don't have to touch any of the metal or the handles. It takes a bit of muscle sometimes to open these gates. To give you an idea of historical context, when this canal was finished, George Washington was just taking office in the United States, first president, and the reign of terror was happening in France after the French Revolution. So, drive the boat out and stop just outside and stop the boat and close the gate. It is more tricky doing this single-handed. Usually you've got a couple of people on the boat, everybody helps out, it's much quicker. Step on the boat, put it in gear, crank it up, away you go. On to the next lock. Well, that's how you get a boat uphill.